I'd like to thank my friend Mike Coast for suggesting this week's Superman Analogue, Captain Planet. You see, when you move away from comics, I think you'll find a whole bunch of characters lean on the comparison to Superman in order to round out the premise for their existence. In this case, the character is dedicated to eradicating pollution. There's a lot going on here, and I'm going to have to take a moment and detach myself from my generation, because I feel like he was ubiquitous to early 90s cartoon watchers. Now that said, the show wasn't really about Captain Planet, but rather a group of activist teens, Kwami, Wheeler, Linka, Gaea, and Monte, as led by Gaea, the living embodiment of the Earth, as voiced by Whoopie Goldberg. Each of the youths were given a ring that commanded a classical element: earth, fire, wind, water, plus heart. This is a particularly 90s show, with multiculturalism being heavily emphasized. And when I first wrote my piece about it, I was somewhat cynical about the production qualities. However, the goal of being better for the planet is hard to fault. So in a certain sense, the property was heroic in of its own very nature. In each episode of the show, the teens would go through a cycle of investigating something that was bad for the environment, inevitably a supervillain, and then summon Captain Planet, who was some kind of avatar for their combined powers when things got rough. Taken from a certain point of view, see what I did there? Captain Planet resembles the archetype that Shazam Captain Marvel originally embodied, when viewed as Billy Batson being a different character than Captain Marvel. Really, Captain Planet was just a MacGuffin for the real heroes. All of us. The lesson of the show was that we're all in this together, and that we all have to step up to make the planet better. Now, that's not to say the series couldn't be a bit absurd. The villains were often tongue-in-cheek, so I find some amusement in reflecting on them. But when I was a kid, I took this all 100% seriously. In order for the bad guys not to win, we had to all do our part to save the world. Now that said, some nuance could have helped. Now, was this propaganda? Yeah. But then Superman was shilling for the government from almost day one, so, it's fine. We need to do these kind of things. At least this is saying, hey, let's make the world a better place. Now, Captain Planet had plenty of pun-tastic villains, but I'm a sucker for a good evil doppelganger, and Captain Planet had a fun rival in the form of Captain Pollution. Anyway, Captain Planet has shades of Infinity Man and other superpowered babysitter stories with a political bent that probably could have used some shades of gray. He's pretty well remembered, unlike other cartoon Superman analogs. Did you see the Don Cheadle spoof? What about his appearances on Robot Chicken? Oh, and most recently Rick and Morty had a parody of the character called Planet Tina. And I need to be clear that I don't think that any of this is bad. Superheroes get political all the time, and they should be used to tell specific morality lessons. Now, Captain Planet was not subtle, but that doesn't make it wrong. In fact, it's very right and very important, and it's regrettable that we didn't listen better. I might spend some time mocking the production quality, but in retrospect, who cares? As a kid, he was a guy fighting the bad guys. The real bad guys. We honestly could use more of that. This video series started off as an ongoing series of Twitter threads cataloging the various Superman analogs that came to my brain space meat thing. There's a link in the description below. Also, I have a podcast about Superman stuff. It's called Men of Steel. Check it out. You can find it at certainpov.com. Also at certainpov.com, you can find tons of other great shows, some of which I host, many of which I don't, but they're all great. Check them out. Also do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Do it all. Do the things. Talk to you later.